Hello, everybody. This is Gerudo King. I will be very fast with this one, or I'll try to be very fast with this one. I feel like I don't have enough short content sometimes. I know I do like 2 hour long things sometimes. There's a verse that to this day has always kind of confused me in the story of Adam and Eve. It's kind of strange. I'll kind of show it. I'll preface by just showing it all. Hey, Chrysos. Props to the man. Him and Keith, they show up here very regularly. I appreciate you guys. Um, so starting chapter 3, woman is deluded. God calls their bluff, and so the first thing that happens when upon asking, who told you that you're naked? He asks this question, unless you've eaten from the only tree that I instructed you by no means to eat from it. Adam gives an answer that is very perplexing to me. He replies, "The woman whom you have given to be with me, she gave me of that tree and I ate." And then to indulge him, of course, Yahweh Elohim turns to the woman, "What is this you've done?" And the woman replies, "The serpent who lured me and I ate." Actually, I don't think she asked it like that. She probably asked it a lot more panicked. Was taking a lot of very quick breaths as she said that. Um, and then, of course, Yahweh drops the question asking by just saying, "Hey, serpent, because you did this, cursed." Um, it's a tough one because on the one hand, Adam is telling the truth. She did give him of that tree. Um, and on that note, it means that he put himself under the jurisdiction of another. But on the other hand, he doesn't give the full truth. He doesn't give the ultimate perspective, which is that this Yahweh Elohim, who can clearly create a perfect beauty in Eden and in the woman, um, he doesn't acknowledge that Yahweh would be the one that would have caused all this. And I guess because of the phrasing of the question, it'd be very tough for Adam to derive that answer. It wasn't for him to know of his own personal direction. Obviously, like the rest of the story couldn't happen. But it gets me to thinking this is the beginning of the heart of God's problem with man in Romans 1. When he gets ready to introduce the evangel to us, he says, God's indignation is being revealed from heaven on irreverence, injustice of men who detain the truth in injustice. Great. Um, but he presses on, and later in verse 21, he says, because knowing God not as God, are men glorifying or thanking him, but vain are they made in their reasonings, and darkened is their unintelligent heart. Now, that's not just an insult. That's not just him calling you dumb. There's a legitimate reason why God is saying that. He's not just a condescending individual. He uses a figure of condescension with the word of God, but that's by necessity, not by, strong arming you on a literal level. It's just the reality of the situation. We are vain in this reasoning that, oh, it's the woman that made me do it. Well, not really. The woman was deluded, which is why when he turns to the woman and says, Hey, why'd you do this? Well, all the woman can do is go, this is a snake. I don't know. A snake came up to me and asked me this, you know? And that is itself a hollow reason, it is a vain reason. Because if Adam definitely doesn't know, then the heart of Adam, which is the woman, definitely does not know. And of course, Yahweh doesn't have to ask the serpent because he already knows that the serpent doesn't know and just says you're cursed. But it's interesting to me that this I haven't like gone too much in depth on it, but this was one of the things that really for my entire like young adult life I've been like I don't really know like why would you respond this way? Because from our perspective in this modern day, you'd think, okay, well, even with the free will thing, with the idea of free will, you'd say, well, I got to take responsibility for my action. You know, I ate that tree. I let myself. But no, he throws it upon the woman, which to our modern sensibilities would, in a literal sense, be an unmanly thing to do. But he does this here, and it had always confused me. But I'm realizing now, I think I'm looking at the statement wrong. I'm looking at it incorrectly. It's not about um, Adam. It's a contrast. All Adam can do is give a half truth, and as we definitely know, a half truth is still a lie. Um, he does not provide what Christ provides. The last Adam can provide with the new humanity, which is that sovereign recognition of no, this is God. Because if the human had replied, look, you set up this situation, you made the woman, you made the tree, you made the serpent, you made the fruit happen, and you made me eat. I'm pretty sure that would have been the only correct answer in that situation. And the action would still be wrong, but the whole set piece would kind of fall apart. The demonstration would be lacking now. So I just find that interesting. I'd never really thought about that. I'm going to I don't know. I'm probably going to start compiling notes on. Well, I already have been, but I may start sharing some of these notes here on Genesis over time. I just think that this is very very interesting stuff because seeing just the contrast between Adam not knowing the whole truth, and you can even see like man's reasoning is tried like throughout the Old Testament. The best example it comes to be in Job. You see just how much mankind tries over and over again to understand like how could this happen. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we even get to a point in Job where Job even recognizes, okay, no, there's sovereignty, but he still can't reconcile God's sovereignty with evil. And eventually, at the end of that book, God's like, it's not yours really to know. It's yours to be humble and recognize this right now. Um, but nevertheless, yeah. If anyone else has any more thoughts on these few verses here, I'd be interested to hear. I'm going to read Knox study on it. It's called The First Offense. It's like a 3-part study, and I haven't started it yet, but I'm very excited to because I'm pretty sure the second or third part will concern us with this and the penalty that is considered here. Yeah, that was pretty fast. I'm thank you for listening to that. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That felt good. That'll be it for me. I may go live with another Romans today, probably. Ideally in the near future. We'll cross that line when we get there. Grace and peace.